Hi, I'm Holly Smith. I'm a pediatric speech therapist. I'm the owner of Play and Say. We have an office in Hammond, and we also travel and do home visits within Tangipahoa Parish, Livingston Parish, St. Tammany Parish, and Washington Parish. So today's video is actually part 2 to a video that I posted last week. So if you didn't see that one, hit pause, go back and watch that one, and then you can come finish this one. I promise it'll make much more sense to do it that way. So in both videos, what we've been talking about is picky eaters. And the first video is really important because sometimes picky eating is a more significant feeding issue. So if that's the case, if your child is not just a picky eater and we actually have a more significant feeding problem, this video might not be enough for you. And in fact, if your child is not eating orally or they're showing signs of choking or anything like that, their failure to thrive, don't even watch this. Go to your pediatrician, ask for help, reach out to a speech therapist or an occupational therapist. We also can help you with it. So reach out for an individualized assessment and individualized treatment program. But if you really do have truly just a picky eater, which I would say is a child that's over 3 years old, they're eating maybe less than 30 or 40 foods. They are eating at least some carbs, proteins, and fruits and vegetables daily, and they're getting water, they're consuming water daily. They're not failure to thrive, they're growing, they're gaining weight. They just are a little bit limited on the variety of foods that they would eat. That's more of a picky eater. A picky eater doesn't have significant developmental or medical issues. If your child has developmental issues or they are having some health issues, you're not just a picky eater. You have more significant feeding problems and you need more individualized treatment. This video is not for you, but you can call us or email us and we'll be happy to help you with that individualized assessment and treatment. So let's talk about, we're going to talk about some strategies that you can use to try to resolve some of the picky eating at your house. But before we do that, let's talk about how our modern culture is perpetuating picky eating, and it's actually, I think, leading to us having more children that are picky eaters. So first of all, we are busier. Now we have, most parents, in most homes, both parents are working outside of the home, or even if they're not, we just are busier. Our kids are busier. They go to school all day, and now they have a lot of extra after-school activities. And so we're on the road a lot. We're eating meals in the car. We're eating out a lot more, and let's think about that. The restaurant, we're going to restaurants more. Well, that can be problematic because at a restaurant, they have a children's menu. And no matter what restaurant you go to, the children's menu is kind of the same. It's chicken nuggets or chicken strips, French fries, macaroni and cheese, maybe a pizza, maybe a hot dog or a corn dog. But it's pretty limited to those few things at every restaurant. Maybe a cheeseburger might be on there. But still, our kids are not being exposed to enough variety in their diet because everywhere we go, they're ordering the same things. So actually, my first tip is going to be about eating at restaurants. I actually am not opposed to us eating at restaurants. I actually think it's good because sometimes it's the only way that we're getting in a family meal where we're sitting around at the table all together eating at the same time. So this might be a good way for us to work on eating. But what we need to change is that we're not going to allow our kids to order off of the kids' menu. I know that's kind of expensive to let them order off of the regular menu. So can we maybe, if you have more than one child, maybe we can order one entree for them to share, or maybe we can let them eat off of our plates because, younger kids really don't need a huge plate of food. Just eating some of our food might be enough for them. especially if they have snacks throughout the day. So let's just think about that. You know, when you go to a restaurant, can we skip the kids menu? Either let your child order off the regular menu or share from your plate, or let's order an entree for our kids to split. The other good thing about restaurants is that if you, as the grown-up at your house, if you're eating at restaurants, hopefully you're ordering a good variety of foods. So every time you eat out, you might order something different, and your child is maybe getting exposed to lots of different kinds of foods through what you're eating. So exposure and opportunity is a big part of the picky eating problem. When we eat off of the kids menu, we limit what our kids are exposed to. We limit their opportunities to eat new foods. So eating at a restaurant is great because that is good opportunity. There are things I get at restaurants that I probably can't even find maybe sometimes in a grocery store, a local grocery store. So I get to expose myself to a greater variety of foods. Or maybe it's something I can't cook. I don't know how to cook it. So if you keep doing the restaurant thing, you do a family dinner where everybody's sitting together, it's very social around the table, and all you have to do is skip the kids menu. It's not going to work instantly. Your kids might not like it. They might not eat as much as you want them to instantly. But if you just stick with it and you offer them a good variety and keep exposing them to new foods and giving them opportunities to eat different foods, they might start to take you up on it, and they might start to expand what they will actually eat. So give it a try. The next recommendation that I would have for you is to try to create that family meal time at home. Maybe you can't do it every day because, again, our modern day families are super busy, but can you do it a couple of times a week? And at that mealtime, it's really social. You're modeling that you're trying new and different foods, and you're offering new foods to your child. Exposure is super important. They need to be exposed to different foods. They need to have the opportunity to try it, or they're not going to, okay? So try creating a family meal routine. Can you do it at least a couple times a week? The next thing is, please do not force your kids to eat a food. Don't bribe them to eat it, and don't give them threats about not eating it. That actually really doesn't work, and it actually makes feeding problems worse because it makes children anxious about whether or not they're going to be able to refuse this food, or if they're actually having like a sensory aversion to the food. It may be really hard to eat it or really uncomfortable. They might need to just be exposed to it more, be able to touch it, smell it. It might take exposure several times and good experiences with that food before they will actually eat it. So don't force, bribe, or threaten. Just offer a good variety, lots of exposure, be patient, gently encouraging, not forcing. The other thing that I would recommend is that you try to limit all of the grazing. Our kids today are snacking all day long. One of their favorite foods is goldfish because they eat it all day long. And then at the end of the day, when we sit down for a meal together, they aren't hungry. So I would actually recommend that you stick to doing a breakfast, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and a dinner, and cut out some of the grazing. You might have more success if you try that. If there's a highly preferred food, don't take it out until your kid is actually eating a better variety of foods, because we still need them to be eating something every day. So those are a few tips that you can try. And again, I just want to point out, if your child is eating less than 15 or 20 foods, they have other developmental issues or health issues, or they show any signs of not growing, not gaining weight, failure to thrive, or any signs of choking, this video is not for you. You need individualized treatment and assessment. But if you think you might just have a picky eater, some of these things might help you. So we're actually assessing interest right now for a camp that's specific for picky eaters. Those are the ones that are otherwise normal and healthy, but they're just not eating a great enough variety. The goal of our camp is to expose them to lots of different foods. We're going to learn about food. We're going to have some play with food. We're going to have positive sensory experiences with the food, and we're not going to force our kids to eat the foods. We're not going to have scary food experiences. The point of the camp is to have pleasant food experiences and give them lots of exposure and opportunity to taste new foods. So if you think you might be interested in the camp, you can go into the comments section under this video, and I have a link. So click the link, subscribe to our email list. I promise we won't bombard you with too many emails, but when we have the details worked out for the camp, this is how we'll deliver that information. And also, when you subscribe, you will get one email right away that's going to ask you some questions about your child and the eating problems that they're having, and it will ask you some questions about your summer schedule. So it'll actually really help us if you reply to that, so that we can put together a good camp that's going to help the most people possible. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Hit like or share so that other people might catch the video if they are maybe having trouble with picky eating. We'd like to reach as many people as we can. And whether your child's a picky eater, or if you think you might have a more significant feeding issue, or if you don't know where your child falls, please seek some help with figuring that out. We can do that. Our number is 985-402-1145. And you could also check with your pediatrician or another speech therapist. But again, if you have more than picky eating or you're not sure, please get a professional opinion about how your child is eating. Thanks for watching.